Hello, and welcome back to Planner Apocalypse, where today we're going to be continuing on with the Memento Mori Goal Planner system, setting goals for the year 2025. It's already been a number of days since I set up my vision board, sensory board, whatever you want to call it, and this has been an extremely slow process this year. So there's been a lot going on with the world and with my personal life. So that is why things are not going very fast. So anyway, we're going to be talking about goals today. So in this process, this is the brain dump for setting the long-term goals for the year. There's the SMARTASS goal framework. Then I talk about goals here, and then there's the actual thing for your categories. I am going to be reading and brain dumping here and reading this. I will do one of these on camera, and then I will do the rest of these off camera, and then just tell you what I'm doing afterwards, just to save time and all that good stuff. And then we will be done with this video after that. So first thing is first, I'm going to read this to you now. Long-term goals for the year. Number 1, brain dump everything that you want to accomplish this year, even the ridiculous. If you color-coded your domains, highlight your items here with the corresponding domain color that they'd be sorted into. Number 2, acknowledge that you will not get all of these things done, and that is okay. Life happens, we get sick, we take care of family, get laid off, or move to another country. Not this year, okay? Hopefully not this year. No, that is not the point of the system. The point is to just start making some progress on those things you most want to do right now, and not someday. Someday is now. This is your real life right now. Number 3, be okay with the decisions you make. It is through deciding that our choices have meaning. No one can predict what tomorrow will bring. What matters is that you start making decisions and trust that that is enough. Number 4, circle your top goal per life domain. This should be something you've been avoiding because it means so much to you, something you're excited to start, something you've always wanted to try, etc. These things should bring value of some kind to your life. Side note, or it should be important to somebody who is important to you. So there is value in being of service to other people, but that's beside the point. Transfer each one to its corresponding spread, the subsequent pages to break down further. That's these things, right? So for me, since I've been doing this for a number of years, I'm going to check in with what my long-term goals were last year. And I'm going to decide if I want to migrate it to this year or if I'm just going to give up and accept that things have changed and my desires are not the same as they were, right? Okay. I do want to write. Last year, I started writing a book and I did finish plotting it. I did not finish outlining it because fan fiction kind of took over my writing life. So what I want to do this year is to finish my fan fiction works in progress, before starting any new fan fiction, unless it's like a really short thing that's under 3,000 words or something like that. Last year, I had wanted to start a podcast. I am no longer going to bother with that. Instead of the book that I was writing on last year, and I do want to finish outlining, so finish outlining. I'm having a lot of issues with this book, so I think I'm going to hop to plotting and outlining this book series that I've already started writing like a few years ago, which I know the characters more, so it feels like it will flow better. So let's see, a plot. It's a simultaneous series instead of a serial series. So let's see. I also wanted to make a game with my son, but we have to figure out what we want to make. So that's enough for that. I want to redo my planetary routines printable and make it more understandable and cohesive and actually do it and stuff. So that's one thing. And then I want to be able to put it up on Etsy eventually when that's done. Right now it's just not. I think the problem that I had with this last year is that I was trying to go through the process on camera and it required too much thought, and I'd rather not do that on camera. I don't know. I say as if that's not my process all the time. I do want to do my budget book this year, budget workbook. I would like to do more courses. I actually am thinking about pitching this book to an agent, the workbook to an agent to get published. Querying, sorry, whatever. Because I am not good with marketing, and maybe an actual publisher would be good with that. Learn marketing, it would be another thing. I can't really spend more money though. That's one of the things. I've been considering what I want to do about videos, whether I want to continue making videos every month, like the planning videos. I'm not sure if they really bring value to people or if I'm wasting my time or if I would be better served doing some other kind of thing. I don't know. There's a lot up in the air right now. And I would like to make more art, maybe some enamel pins. I want to get my hand lettered stickers up this year. I would like to do a digital detox. I'm definitely addicted to my phone and it's pretty bad. I would like to not do that anymore. Let's see. I would like to make a few short comics. I already have a few in mind. I've got one which is literally just one page. I've got two other ones which are actually centered around grief, which it seems to be a lot of the things that I do. Speaking of, maybe this is the year to get into my death doula certification course because I paid for it, I have it, I might as well do it, even if I don't actually pursue it. Might as well do it if I don't pursue, okay. Rhyming is great. I would like to play games. So I would like to finish DMC 5, so Devil May Cry 5. What else did I buy? Yo, I've got a great fan fiction idea for Devil May Cry, and I'm so excited about it. Anyway, I have to finish all of my whips first. I don't want to start, because this is a long one, I don't want to start doing something like that before all my other ones are done. I should probably do a website, ? I don't know. I want to get back into my spiritual stuff. I want to declutter. So I also want to sell stuff on eBay or Mercari. And then I want to do the planner. So for 2026, I kind of think that if I'm going to be pitching to publishers / trying to get an agent, I should have this ready to go super early. So that's a thing. So I got the 2026 OG weekly, the vertical, horizontal. What did we have? The daily, right? We got the daily ladder. I was thinking about adding an hourly ? Not sure about that just because that's a lot of work. The companion, of course. I was also thinking about doing an undated companion just to have that up as an offering forever. I really want to get my homeschool goal planners out of here. Homeschool goal planners. Because I need them to get the heck out of my house. And I made them and then I didn't put them up ever, which is how I do, I guess. I might have to actually get a job. I need to teach Sunny more life skills. I want to get on insurance. Callie has an autism test. Sunny has to finish his papers for the autism test. I want to hang out with my parents a lot. They're moving to my city, which I find very exciting. So I want to be able to pop over and say hello and hang out. And that's really nice. It's been nice just being able to go and have tea with them and then go home and not have to drive 4 hours, All right, so videos. I wanted to do my review on The Mall, which is this book that I had read when I was 11. And then I read it as an adult, and I wanted to do it for October, but that didn't happen, obviously. So I wanted to do that and there's a bunch of specific things that are not really routine planner stuff that I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to animate, or at least do it the animatic style where it's not frame by frame. But I have this thing in my head that I want to make that it's different from my usual content, but it's more about storytelling and visuals and stuff like that. All right, so I did those. I'm gonna just highlight them in their colors. As you can see, I need to replace some of my mild liners after 4 years. That purple one's just not as punchy. Okay, so circling the most important one, I guess. I only have one goal for play with the I'm just gonna look at the actual thingamajigs are. Also observe how very messy all of this is. It's okay to be messy in your planner or your workbook or whatever. Yes, good, great. So, all right, circling the most important thing, right? Another way to do this would be to think about how you want to feel in each life domain. So in connection, I think hanging out with mom and dad, I really want to do that. I also want to make sure my kids are fine. So, okay, so I think for my top writing goal, I will use finish all my fan fiction works in progress because that feels kind of doable for writing. And then I don't know why I put that as that color, but sometimes I put it under the wrong color. That's all right. Or maybe it's like multiple colors because querying to an agent would be associated with alignment and self-expression, which is my yellow color. But I think it's also practice, which is what I use for work stuff. I think my most important thing for work stuff, I really want to get my budget book out this year. I started it in 2020 and it's just not ready and it needs a lot of artwork, and I think that's the major hang up with it. I really need to get back into just doing art. So let's do Clown Town with Harry. That's where we do things without pressure. So this is like I want to use that for writing and sketching and stuff like that. Because honestly, I've gotten to this point with my art where I don't sketch. Like I try, I go in with a certain thing that I want to make. And if it doesn't come out this one time, I get just really fed up with myself and I give up. And that's really not healthy because art is a process. It's a process of trying things out and refining it, just like writing. And I'm much better at doing that with writing than I am with art. So I need to let it be shitty and do maybe a couple iterations before I go in for the big one. So I'm gonna hang out with mom and dad as my top goal. I think for my connection, what is it? That was connection. But all right, so get on health insurance is gonna be my rest and well-being goal because that's super important so I can go back to therapy. Let me also just write therapy. And also a physical. I don't remember the last time I had a physical or well check. It was maybe a couple years ago. They put me on a new doctor and then they sent me for blood work and I never got the blood work done because it required fasting and I can never remember to actually do it. Great. What else do I want to do? I do want to declutter. All right, what can I do about my home life? I think specifically I would like to, by the end of the year, have decluttered the bedroom. I need to get new clothes as well because all my clothes are over 10 years old and some of them are falling apart and all of my shirts don't fit me anymore because I gained weight. So, all right, so sell stuff is going to be my most important green thing. Also play games here. All right, that's good enough. We're done with that. Bye. And also you can go away. Don't just be smart, be a smart ass. If you've been in any sort of productivity sphere within the past 4 decades or so, you'll probably have heard of SMART goals. The SMART methodology of goal setting was developed by George Doran, Arthur Miller, and James Cunningham in 1981 and was geared more for business team management and productivity than anything else. The method later saw wide popularity in the realm of personal development and productivity. In case you weren't familiar, SMART stands for specific. Go through the 5 W's. Who's involved? What is it that you want to accomplish? Why do you want to do this? When will you do the thing? Where will you do it? M, measurable. How will you know when you're all done and you've accomplished the thing so that you can celebrate and reward yourself? Also remember that you can have a feeling as a measurement if you don't have an objective measurement like a number. You can also, well, we're going to get into that in a minute, process goals. A, attainable. With the tools and resources, and remember that time, energy, and attention are resources that you have. Can you do the thing? If not, what do you need? R, realistic. Can you actually do the thing? Like, is it even physically possible in this dimension, or are you trying to summon $5 million by tomorrow morning? Come on now. Maybe making $5 million is possible, but you're going to need to adjust your timeline a tad. This is also going back to what I was telling you about when you're building your ladder, make sure you can reach that bottom rung, because I don't know about everybody else, but I often have the tendency to focus on where I think I should be and not where I actually am. And there's like a big gap between those things. And that gap is what keeps me stuck and feeling behind. When I'm not really necessarily behind, I'm just where I am, and that's okay. T, timely. Each step in the plan should have a due date to ensure things get done on time. And so you're not leaving everything to the last minute, stressing yourself out. Pro tip, please stop using the excuse that you work best under pressure. The negative long-term effects of stress-induced cortisol levels on your mind and body don't give a shit, even if you have ADHD. Honestly, this is probably the one that I struggle with most. I did write that for myself, even though I do not have ADHD. I procrastinate, and I think I do need that time pressure. But if you're a person who needs time pressure, make it artificial. Like, manufacture the time pressure so that you're not also creating anxiety, because that's not good. The problem with SMART goals is that the method isn't enough by itself, at least not in this era of post-industrial late-stage capitalism and toxic hustle culture. We are more than the replaceable cogs that society has trained us all our lives to be. So I propose making some updates to reflect our more modern understanding of mental health, physical health, and self-care. A is for aligned. Your goals should be aligned with your values and identity, which is why we spent so much time figuring all that out. Think about it. When you're trying to do something that violates your core values, you feel icky, and simply put, it demotivates you from accomplishing the task at hand. When you aren't seeing any progress, you get down on yourself, and that never helps. Goals should also be adaptable and change as you do. They say quitters never win, but sometimes the best way to win is to quit what is not right for you in this particular season of life. Kind of like with the planetary routines thing I was trying to do last year. It just wasn't coming together for whatever reason, so I put it aside for a while, and hopefully this year I will get it out. S is for sustainable. Pay attention to your body and mind and really get to know their cues. Take into account your energy reserve, your spoons, your spell slots. Don't try to do too much at once, or you may easily overwhelm yourself. It's okay to take things slowly. Know when it's time to rest and allow for that to happen. Resting is not a failure. It's part of the cycle of life. And the last S is for support. Know when you need to ask for support or accountability, whatever that might look like for you in your situation. Humans were not meant to do everything alone. Okay, this year, this is a new page. Let's set some goals. It's time, I know, finally. The following pages are set up in the SMARTASS framework for you to think about what you want and how to get it in a sustainable and self-compassionate way. In the top section, we have a space to write your actual goal. Then use the framework below it to detail how you will do that, and on the opposite page, come up with projects and actions to help you get there. For example, you can make it an intention, such as, I will curate an environment that I can feel good in. Think about what it means for you to feel good in your environment. How does that differ from where you are now? Write down how it feels and how you can achieve that. Maybe you'll want to sew or buy some new curtains. Maybe you can add decluttering to your list of projects. You can make it an outcome goal, where you set the goal to reach a particular outcome, such as, I will make 25 widgets in the hopes of making X amount of sales and Y amount of money. How will you go about creating your widgets? That's step 1. How will you go about making the sales you wish to make? Also remember that you can do the process of pitching a sale, but you don't control whether somebody actually buys. So that's important. What kind of marketing will you have to do? Maybe you can sign up for a marketing course or find some YouTube videos or books at the library for free to learn more. You can make it a process goal, building your goal around only things you have control over, such as I will complete one thing every day in order to build my weekly ladder. You can use the Stuff This Month page in this planner every month to track and build a habit of completing your one thing, so that part is built right into the system. I guess with this companion, it's not built in with the system, but that's fine. We already told you what the one thing is, and you can make a list on any of these everyday things here, or at the end of the month, you get these blank notes pages, so you can make lists of things here if you want. Personally, I prefer process goals. My OCD can make outcome goals very difficult, mainly because I can't control what other people do, such as buy my work. And I can find myself being very cruel to myself when I miss those goals. So I find it to be an act of kindness to myself not to set outcome goals and to set either process goals or intentions, but you may be different. Experiment to find what feels and works best for you. Also, don't be afraid to mix it up, like mix and match. Maybe you feel more comfortable doing an intention for one area of life than in another area you can do a process or an outcome goal. You have all year and refreshes at the end of every quarter/season to check in if you want to switch things around. It's never too late to change what's not working for you. You don't need to answer all of the questions in the SMARTASS framework if you don't want to. Just answer what is relevant and helpful to you. Like everything in this system, it's a tool that's there if you need it or want it, but as the purpose of this planner is to support you, it will defeat the purpose if you don't find a thing helpful. So be ready to adapt things to how they work for you. Remember, know thyself. Speaking of know thyself, I'd like to make an amendment for ADHD brains regarding stress and doing well under it. It's true that ADHD brains sometimes need that impending deadline to motivate you into action, and some people thrive on that, and if that's you, great. Knowing what works for you and how you work is the secret to everything. That being said, even ADHDers' bodies will feel the negative effects of prolonged cortisol, the stress hormone, in their bodies. So try to manage that as you go by making use of time containers and shorter deadlines for chunks of your projects. Check in often, do sprints of work, and try to recreate that feeling of crunch without the stress. As you are brain dumping your projects and action items, keep in mind that all of these things add up like microtransactions for your time, attention, and energy. You'll be surprised at how little you have to put down per domain for it to balloon and feel unwieldy once it's all looked at together. And finally, make a mess in this planner/workbook. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be messy. Be messy when you're trying to get all your stuff out of your head and figured out, because it's better to get it out where you can see it than in your head where it's just whirling around and you're unable to make sense of everything. The brain dumps in this planner are there to help you lessen your cognitive load so that you can be free to choose your tasks intentionally and not under duress. Now go forth and set your goals. You've got this.
Until next time.